This is Steve Nelson with the weekly weather briefing for the week of Thursday, July 20th. Our first slide is showing about how much rain we've had in the last 7 days. You can see the legend there on the right. A lot of areas have received about normal rainfall. Those colors in green are showing that, except areas in yellow and kind of a darker shade of yellow. That's up in North Georgia, where we saw some minor flooding in recent days, I believe this last weekend. Below normal rainfall actually observed in the Athens area and parts of northeast Georgia. Part of the reasons parts of the state are starting to see below normal rainfall the last day or so and expected to continue into this weekend is because of a stagnant weather pattern. A large area of high pressure aloft, you can kind of see here in this image, that's a forecast image valid for tomorrow afternoon, shows that high pressure over the middle and eastern part of the country. We're not expecting a whole lot of precipitation here, maybe some isolated showers and storms, kind of like what we're seeing today, but not much widespread rainfall. We will see above normal temperatures, though, however, in this pattern. The forecast maps for today and Friday show parts of the area receiving some rainfall. You don't want to take these green areas in these maps verbatim. That's just kind of showing you a snapshot of what's expected at that particular time, but you can kind of see that it's not going to be widespread coverage of showers and thunderstorms everywhere in these maps. So to cut to the chase, here's what we're looking at specifically for 3 cities in our area in the northwest and middle part of the state, Rome, Atlanta, and Macon. Temperatures are indeed going to be above average, with temperatures in the mid and 90s for the next few days, cooling off especially as we get to Sunday when rain chances go up. In fact, one of our concerns, since we're not going to get rid of the moisture at the low levels anytime soon, is going to be high heat index values. When you put the temperature and moisture together during the afternoon today and tomorrow, we're looking at heat index readings above 100 at several locations, especially down there towards Dublin. We're approaching our threshold of 105 degrees, at which point a lot of our offices will issue a heat advisory. So definitely want to slow down and drink lots of water if you're going to be outside during this week and the weekend. Here's our rainfall forecast for the country that's expected, and note that Georgia is, on average, we're expecting a little bit of rainfall, nothing too heavy. Most areas in that light green are going to see around 1/10 of an inch or less. But this is average. If you happen to get a heavier storm right over your area in a small area, you're going to see more rainfall than this, probably up to an inch or maybe more. We're not expecting widespread flooding by any means in this pattern, though, but just be aware you could get more rain than what's indicated on this map. The rainfall forecast for Friday looks very similar to the one that was forecast for today. Very light rainfall amounts on average, but again, you could have local amounts that are higher, perhaps slightly better chances of rain in middle Georgia and to the south. And again, for Saturday, the pattern still is not changing much. We're not seeing much indication of rain over Georgia, although to the west, looks like moisture is starting to increase, and you'll see that in the next slide. So when we look over the next 7 days combined, if you kind of subtract off what we're expecting over the next 3 days, which really isn't a whole lot, maybe a 1/4 inch, possibly to a 1/2 inch, we've got some decent rain amounts coming in later in the week, starting Sunday through at least Wednesday. This map shows a 7-day total through about 7 a.m. on Thursday. And we're seeing values up there in the scale. You can see on the left is over an inch on average, with locally higher amounts. Hazardous weather outlook for today through Sunday. Here's the outlook for this afternoon and tonight. And I dare you on this slide to compare how the next couple days is going to look. It's really not much change at all. We're definitely in a stagnant pattern. This lighter green coloring is indicating we're in just a general thunderstorm outlook. We're not expecting any organized severe storms of any kind here. We could still see isolated strong thunderstorms, most likely between 2 and 10 p.m., and even those could contain some heavy rainfall and some lightning and even gusty winds, but no severe storms are expected. And like I said, very little change from what today's outlook looks like from the Storm Prediction Center. General thunder is expected across the entire area. Again, isolated strong storms possible mainly between 2 and 10 p.m. And the same story for Saturday. Just isolated strong storms possible. For the outlook for the rest of the week, starting on Sunday, even though this does not indicate any organized severe storms, it usually takes a higher threshold here for the Storm Prediction Center to indicate any kind of chance of that on the days 4 through 8 outlook. There are indications that we're going to see more coverage of thunderstorms, and they could be a little bit stronger too as well starting Sunday. We could see even a little bit of stronger storms, maybe even a severe thunderstorm or two. And again, these will be mainly in the afternoon and evening, but the severe storms could produce a little bit stronger weather with strong winds up to about 60 miles per hour. Here's our tropical weather outlook for the next several days. And hey, take a look at that cool photo from aircraft reconnaissance of an eye. Pretty neat, huh? And the good news here is we're not seeing any indication of tropical cyclone development over the next 5 days. Some of you might remember that Tropical Storm Don, which was a weak storm formed in the southern Caribbean, that has since dissipated. So good news there. So to sum up, isolated afternoon and evening showers and a few thunderstorms are possible today through Saturday. That coverage and intensity of the storms are probably going to increase Sunday through Tuesday, with more about 40 to 50% coverage of storms, unlike the 15 to 20% we're seeing today. Some of those storms could be a little stronger on Sunday through Tuesday, damaging wind, frequent lightning, very heavy rain. And of course, it will be hot, especially the next few days through Saturday. So definitely take precautions. Bring water, wear light-colored clothing, and try not to stay outdoors too long. And finally, good news at the end, we're not seeing any tropical activity and not expecting any in the next 5 days. So that's it for our briefing. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next week.